Hello. Welcome to Rainy Day Podfics. I'm your host, Jay, Pan, or Bean, whichever you prefer, or come up with a new name for me and put it down in the comments. Today I will be reading Here For You, Emotional Support by Orphan Account on AO3. It is a Kirishima fanfiction with a total of 7 chapters. Summary. Midoriya, Eijirou called out. He wasn't expecting to see anyone up when he went to get water in the middle of the night, and he definitely wasn't expecting to see his classmate looking so upset. Or, Kirishima helps Midoriya through his nightmares one night. Pining ensues. Eijirou blinked sleepily as his messy, clothing-strewn dorm room slowly came into focus. From the lack of light seeping through his curtains, it was far too early to be up. He checked the time on his LED clock, 2:52 a.m., confirming how early it was. He licked his lips. They were chapped from chewing on them, and his mouth was dry from snoring. Since he was up anyway, he figured he'd go get some water. He could already hear Bakugou yelling at him in his mind to hydrate. Eijirou pulled on his shark slippers, stumbling a bit in the darkness, and blearily opened the door, walking down to the common room. The light was on, a pale yellow shining through the doorway, making him squint. Did someone forget to turn it off last night? A tuft of green hair came into view as he rounded the corner. Midoriya. He didn't seem to notice Eijirou, too focused on his own thing. Midoriya? Eijirou called out softly. He startled, nearly dropping his mug. Kirishima, you scared the life out of me. Oops. My bad. I should have realized I'd startle you, he said, smiling awkwardly. Midoriya gave him a half-hearted smile back, not really looking at him. What are you doing awake this late? Just getting some water. You? In response, the boy held up an old tea mug with All Might printed on the side. He looked tired, and now that Eijirou could see his face a bit closer, he looked more on edge than usual. Eijirou tilted his head slightly. Been having trouble sleeping? You could say that, he responded, sitting at one of the tables in the common room. Midoriya was quiet for a minute, looking at Eijirou. He suddenly became aware of how sleep-ruffled he probably looked. He hummed in understanding and sat down across from Midoriya, water forgotten. To his disappointment, he immediately looked away and sipped his tea, avoiding eye contact. Eijirou wanted to say something to comfort him, but he figured he'd say it when he was ready. He sat and waited. Midoriya took in a long, shaky breath. I've kind of been having a lot of nightmares lately. They keep me up most of the time, so I come down here to clear my head. He kept his eyes trained on the mug. Eijirou nodded slowly. I get that. You do? Midoriya. Dude, of course. I'm sure it's not as bad as yours, but I still sometimes dream about the USJ. So, you don't think it's stupid? Midoriya's scarred hands fidgeted with the handle of the mug. What? Why would I? Eijirou looked at his classmate more worried now. Because I'm gonna be a hero. I should be able to handle it, you know? Midoriya moved his gaze back up to him. Eijirou studied his expression. He was still fidgeting with the All Might mug. He noticed how Midoriya kept thumbing over the picture of All Might himself. Midoriya, dude, you may be training to be a hero, but you're still human. With all the shit you've gone through, it'd be weird if none of it got to you, man. Even for a UA student, that stuff's not normal and traumatizing as hell. Midoriya paused, blinked. I hadn't thought about it that way. Of course you hadn't. You're always selling yourself too short, bro, Eijirou said softly. A small smile crept its way onto Midoriya's face. You think so? Oh, I know so, he returned the smile. They both fell into a soft, comfortable silence. Eijirou got up to get his water, and Midoriya continued sipping his tea. He returned to the table. The two sat there for a while, just enjoying each other's presence and the quiet of the night. Midoriya was the first to speak again. Hey, Kirishima? Yeah? Do you? He started. Would you mind if I told you about it? My nightmare? Eijirou leaned a bit closer. Go for it. Okay, well, tonight it was... Midoriya took another slightly shaky breath. Do you remember the day at the mall when we all went shopping and Shigaraki showed up? He nodded. Did I ever tell you what exactly what happened? No, he said. All I know is he talked to you. I never got the details. Well, Midoriya swallowed. He put his hand around my neck. Eijirou felt himself stiffen. Wait, But wouldn't that... He kept just one finger off, but it was terrifying, he continued, trembling, stumbling on his words. Knowing he could just close his hand and I'd be gone and no one would be able to do anything. It would have been so easy for him. Tears rolled down his face. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. I couldn't cry for help or he would have killed me. I keep waking up feeling like I'm being choked. At some point, Eijirou had gone up to kneel beside him. Midoriya. I had no idea. He would have been gone. I would have never gotten to see his bright smile ever again. The boy wiped his face with his sleeve, still crying and sniffling. Eijirou had the urge to kiss the tears away. No, that's not appropriate. He's upset, and I don't know him like that. I also dream about staying a lot. What would have happened to Ida if I hadn't gotten there? He hiccuped. What would have happened to me if Todoroki hadn't gotten there? And then with Muscular at the training camp, if I hadn't been able to, then would have. And then with Gachan, I couldn't. Eijirou placed his hands gently but firmly on trembling shoulders. But none of that happened, he said. You're safe, and so are Koda and Bakugou. Everyone's safe. You're right here, and I'm here, and nothing can hurt you right now, okay? Midoriya let out a shaky breath and nodded, still trembling. Eijirou stood and wrapped his arms around Izuku, Midoriya's small frame. Midoriya hesitated, then hugged him back, shoving his face into his shirt and crying more. He must have been over half a foot shorter than him. Tiny. They stayed there like that, just holding each other for a few minutes. When they finally pulled away, Eijirou noticed that Midoriya looked visibly much more relaxed. Thank you, Kirishima, he said earnestly. I feel a lot better now, I think. Kirishima smiled and gently ruffled his hair. Anytime. And if you have any more nightmares, you're more than welcome to come bother me in my room about it. He heard a small chuckle. I'll be sure to remember that, Midoriya responded. Eijirou let his hand linger in his fluffy green hair for a little while longer, gazing at him fondly. Shit. Night, Midoriya. He pulled away. Eijirou forced himself to walk back up to his room. He lay there for half an hour, unsleeping, processing what had just happened. Alright, that, honestly, very cute, a nice little start to all this. I like it. Yeah, it took about half as long as I was expecting it to originally, because I used CapCut again. I'm back on that, because I definitely prefer CapCut. Riverside was weird, and it used AI to make a transcript, and the transcript was helpful because I would yell at my cat anytime that she caused an issue, but also with CapCut it's easier to just pause the recording at the end of a sentence and then cut back to wherever that was good, all that. I'm used to CapCut. I'm good with CapCut. So that took about half as long as I expected it to. I had the intro screenshot for 14 minutes, over 14 minutes, but in the 14-minute area, and that took a bit over 7 minutes, I think around 20-ish seconds, 20-40 seconds passed. Sorry, I keep almost coughing. Sorry, lie. My cat is in fact sleeping on my chair behind me, so I'm not completely sat on it, which is slightly bugging me, because that means I don't have as much leg room, so I'm actively pushing out one of the boxes she likes to lay in, out from under my desk a bit, so I can't have leg room, so I'll have to fix that in the morning. I say the morning like it's not 1:28 a.m. on December 23rd. So, I have both jobs later. I've got my first job at 10 a.m., so I have to be out of the house by 9:40 at the latest, meaning I should probably go to bed now if I want a full 8 hours of sleep, but I rarely get a full 8 hours of sleep. Plus, I originally woke up at 8 a.m. this morning, and then I fell asleep until noon, but 12:50 noon, so my problems with on-off sleeping are coming back to bite me in the ass. Lovely. But yeah, so I should, in all honesty, go to bed, but I really just don't wanna, so we're gonna hate myself in the morning, but that is fine. Sorry, I keep, like, trying to stop myself from coughing, but I can't because then it kind of forces me to, like, not breathe much. Okay, if you didn't notice, this fic is Kirishima-centric, or, like, from his POV most of the time, but there will be one chapter with Mito's POV. Yeah, it's so sweet and cute, and I really like it so far, and I hope you all are as well. So, make sure, if you have the time, and if you're able to, hop on over to AO3 and leave a kudos on the original fic, please. There will be a link in the description, as there always is. It is an orphan account, and it's not locked, so, like, you should be able to access it, but, yeah. Sorry, I keep having to, like, cut myself off so I could cough, because that is very loud and jarring, and I don't want to jump scare any of you guys with a cough. Yeah, chapter 2 is Lost in Thought. Hello, kitten. Yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you I'll see you in the next one. Didn't mean to say that yet. I hope you enjoy the next 24 hours. Make sure you eat enough to keep yourself sustained. Take your medication. If you have any and you haven't taken it yet, take vitamin supplements if you have them. I'm trying to remember what else I say. Eat, sleep, drink water, meds, take care of yourself. I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.